I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. What do you think a plant is?
Earlier this year, Katt Williams set the entertainment world ablaze with his explosive January interview where he didn't hold back in calling out some big names. While the spotlight has largely been on the people he directly criticized, many seem to overlook that he may have also exposed his host, Shannon Sharpe, in the process. Just take a look at Shannon's body language during the interview. There's something intriguing about it.
Keep lying until you say we don't believe you. Like it's important in the checks and balances of the universe.
Now, I don't want to come across as petty, but it's hard not to notice how Shannon's actions have sparked whispers and rumors. Some are even saying that 2024 has been Shannon's year, a year where he shattered expectations as an on-air personality. However, there's a growing buzz that Shannon Sharpe, the former NFL player, might not be as squeaky clean as he appears. Persistent rumors suggest that he has his own agenda, one that's cleverly hidden behind his charismatic persona. It all started with Shannon's aggressive confrontation with Jay Morant's father at a Lakers game. For someone who's all about supporting the black community, his behavior seemed a bit contradictory, but that's just scratching the surface. Rumor has it that Shannon has been inviting guests onto his show only to use their revelations against them later on. Take Steve Harvey, for instance. Shannon's seemingly innocent question about Harvey's small-town roots in West Virginia might have had a deeper purpose. And what about Cedric the Entertainer? Did Shannon use Katt Williams as a mouthpiece to reveal their secrets? Some believe so, and it's been causing quite a stir.
Cedric's sitting here telling you why he ain't a movie star. He over here look like a walrus. You didn't say nothing. He can't even get his arms off his stomach sitting over here. Why I'm not a movie star. What?
As expected, not everyone is taking this quietly. Cedric the Entertainer, for one, has spoken out about Katt Williams' comments during his interview with Shannon. According to him, it's a tricky time with people jumping onto blogs and spreading all sorts of rumors, some of which might not even be true. But as Cedric wisely put it, he's letting the dust settle before he decides to respond. The persistent rumors hint that Shannon Sharpe might have strategically invited stars like Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer, only to later use Katt Williams to expose their deepest secrets. And if that was Shannon's plan, then it seems like he played his cards just right. What's particularly fascinating about this entire saga is the unexpected twist that followed the explosive interview. Shannon Sharpe, who initially seemed to stand firm, quickly found himself under fire from several big names in the entertainment industry. And in a surprising turn of events, Shannon appeared to change his stance, seemingly turning his back on Katt Williams, the very person he had supported during that notorious interview. One of the most vocal critics was rapper Maze, who didn't hold back when calling out Shannon. In a bold and fiery statement, Maze accused him of being a fake pastor and demanded a response, adding fuel to an already blazing fire. But the drama didn't end there. Mike Epps, the well-known comedian and actor from Next Friday, soon added his voice to the mix. Epps took to social media, posting a picture where he labeled Shannon as zesty, a term that, while seemingly playful, carried a sharp edge. What began as online jabs between Epps and Sharpe soon escalated into threats of physical altercation. The tension was palpable, with both men making bold claims about settling their differences face to face. However, cooler heads prevailed, and the two eventually resolved their issues privately. But the feud didn't die down completely. Comedian Faison Love stirred the pot further during a podcast appearance, where he speculated that Shannon Sharpe might have been genuinely afraid of confronting Mike Epps. Love suggested that Shannon knew about the reverence Mike Epps holds in his home state of Indiana, where he is beloved by many. According to Love, Shannon may have been intimidated by the potential backlash he could face if things got physical. He also touched on the rising gang shooting in America, implying that the easy access to firearms might have contributed to Shannon's hesitance.
So Shannon and Mike Epps is solid. And not just his hood, every hood. They love Mike. He's that uncle. You know, he's almost like me.
While some fans criticized Faison Love for bringing up these details after the feud had seemingly been settled, others argued that it was important to understand the dynamics at play. Regardless, Shannon Sharpe didn't take these revelations lightly. The tension between Shannon Sharpe and Mike Epps initially flared up when Epps publicly claimed that he turned down an invitation to appear on Club Shay Shay. According to Epps, he refused the invite because he didn't want Shannon staring at him inappropriately during the interview. Epps' comments included homophobic slurs, which sparked outrage online. Shannon, naturally upset by these remarks, responded on his podcast, denying that he had ever invited Epps to be a guest. He then issued a stern warning to Epps, threatening to expose their private messages if his name was mentioned again.
I got upset about, and he told a story. Shannon Sharpe did not DM me to come on the show. I DM'd him. He also said, I wish Katt had said something about me. I'm jealous. Now, the pushback that I'm going to give, and when I, I'm there, Ocho, so I really never go back and watch the interview because I was there when it actually happened.
This back and forth once again continued as Epps took to social media, challenging Shannon to show up at the NBA All-Star Game to settle their differences in person. Epps also expressed frustration over Shannon making aggressive threats over what he considered a harmless joke. Despite the heated exchange, the two eventually met in private and managed to clear the air, preventing the situation from escalating further. Another major figure who has openly clashed with Shannon Sharpe is none other than NBA Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal. The ongoing online spat between Sharpe and Shaq has kept sports fans buzzing, and it recently reached a new level when Shannon addressed the situation during the Webby Awards red carpet on May 13th this year. The tension between these two sports legends began when they disagreed over the 2024 NBA MVP choice. The disagreement quickly escalated into a war of words, with Shaq even releasing an unexpected diss track on May 10th. The feud started after Sharpe accused Shaq of being jealous of Denver Nuggets player Nikola Jokic, who secured his third NBA MVP title in 4 years. Shaq, during an interview with Jokic on Inside the NBA, expressed that he believed the MVP award should have gone to Oklahoma City Thunder's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander instead. Sharpe, who disagreed with Shaq's take, shared his thoughts on his podcast, The Nightcap, suggesting that Shaq's comments stem from a place of envy, given that Shaq has only one MVP trophy in his Hall of Fame career, compared to Jokic's multiple accolades. Shaq didn't take kindly to Sharpe's criticism and fired back on Instagram, mocking Sharpe for not being ranked among the top 10 in his profession. But Shaq didn't stop there. He upped the ante by dropping a diss track where he called out Sharpe saying, "You're way beneath me," and referred to Sharpe's podcast as a BS podcast. In the track, Shaq rapped, "Your whole demeanor is faker than a new rapper beef. You're soft before you get fly. You'd rather tweet me." Despite the heated exchanges, when asked about the feud during the Webby Awards, Sharpe took a more conciliatory tone. Speaking to People magazine, he said, "I don't have a problem with Shaq. He said what he said, and I'm ready to move on." But back to Katt Williams and how Shannon Sharpe used him to pass a message while trying to protect himself. The viral interview between Katt and Shannon rattled several people in the industry. The conversations exposed deep-seated issues that many celebrities know about but avoid discussing for fear of being canceled. The almost 3-hour-long chat saw Katt Williams take aim at numerous individuals across Hollywood and the music industry, with no topic or person too sensitive to criticize. Katt began by addressing his distrust of Diddy's party invitations and Cedric the Entertainer allegedly stealing his stand-up material. He also expressed his disdain for TV show host Steve Harvey, accusing him of plagiarizing Mark Curry's role as Mark Cooper in Hanging with Mr. Cooper for his own show, The Steve Harvey Show. Katt didn't hold back, claiming,
"The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit."
He further mocked Steve Harvey's appearance and insinuated that Harvey would never make it as a movie star, which is why he sticks to hosting Family Feud and sitcoms. Katt's tirade didn't stop with Steve Harvey. He quickly shifted to Cedric the Entertainer, whom he harshly criticized as a walrus and plagiarist. Katt accused Cedric of stealing his jokes and questioned Cedric's talents, claiming he failed to live up to his entertainer title. According to Katt, Cedric couldn't sing, dance, or write jokes, which is why his comedy specials aren't available on Netflix or Tubi. Moving on, Katt took shots at Ricky Smiley, calling him a liar for claiming he was supposed to play Money Mike in the 2002 film Friday After Next, a role that Katt ultimately played. Katt suggested that Smiley, Cedric, and Harvey were allied against him, with Smiley repeatedly showing up at his auditions due to their influence. Katt asserted that these comedians formed a gang in the industry, aware of the underhanded tactics used to suppress other talents. And not even Diddy escaped Katt's wrath. Katt criticized the music mogul, suggesting that Diddy's numerous essay allegations, including those from his ex-girlfriend Cassie, reflect a deeper, darker side of the industry. Katt claimed he walked away from $50 million offers 4 times throughout his career to protect his integrity, implying that accepting such deals would have compromised his values. He also hinted at Diddy's controlling behavior towards women and stated that he kept a virgin a-hole and never sucked a pee, priding himself on avoiding the corrupt practices that he believes are prevalent in Hollywood.
My goal was to get this far in Hollywood and still have a virgin and never have sucked. That was my only goal.
Katt's criticism extended to his longtime rival Kevin Hart, whom he labeled as an industry plant. He questioned the authenticity of Hart's success, suggesting that Hart's rapid rise in Hollywood was orchestrated by the industry. Katt pointed out that no one else had achieved such success so quickly, with Hart securing a sitcom and a lead movie role within his first year in LA. Katt emphasized that many of the roles Hart took were originally offered to him, further fueling his suspicion that Hart's success was part of a calculated plan by industry insiders. Another personality who caught straight bullets from Katt Williams was Michael Blackson. During the interview, Katt was asked if he had ever been booed during a stand-up performance. He confirmed that he had, but instead of shying away from the topic, he used it as a springboard to discuss his belief that some comedians should get booed more often, and he singled out Michael Blackson as an example. Katt emphasized that, as a comedian, the audience's opinion is the only one that truly matters. Not you, the writer, none of that, he said, highlighting the importance of real-time feedback from the crowd. In his view, being booed can serve as a crucial learning experience, a moment of truth that forces a comedian to either improve or face the harsh reality of their performance. He argued that most comedians don't get booed enough, and as a result, they can become complacent, thinking they're better than they are. This is how you end up with a Michael Blackson, Katt said, pointing out that Blackson's success, despite what he considers a fake African accent, is a prime example of a comedian who hasn't faced enough criticism. Katt didn't hold back in his critique of Blackson, going as far as to mock his persona and stage presence. He's a real African, not a fake African accent, Katt quipped, sarcastically pointing out that Blackson's accent is a put-on, a performance that he believes doesn't reflect Blackson's true self. This wasn't just about the accent, though. Katt had deeper issues with how Blackson presented himself. He recalled a time when Blackson was wearing what Katt described as those dirty dashikis, traditional African attire that Katt felt wasn't doing Blackson any favors in terms of elevating his comedic status. Katt claimed that he offered Blackson what he considered the best advice of his life. I told him that he needed to dress to be in the position that he's trying to say that he's in. In other words, if Blackson was going to call himself the African king of comedy, he needed to look the part. But it wasn't just about appearances. Katt also challenged Blackson to back up his title with action. Katt's advice didn't stop at wardrobe tips. He suggested that if Blackson wanted to maintain his claim to the throne, he should go to Africa and get a school, meaning he should invest in the comedy scene there and prove his worth. According to Katt, Blackson, like many other comedians he's advised, took his word to heart and made significant changes to his persona. But instead of being grateful, Katt claims that Blackson, along with others he's helped, ended up resenting him for it.
And these guys, they take my advice, they change their whole persona, and then they hate me for it.
This wasn't the only jab Katt took during the interview. He also directed some of his sharp criticism at Hollywood gatekeeper Tyler Perry, using Blackson's situation to segue into a broader discussion about the entertainment industry. Katt pointed out that Perry, known for his Medea character, was also someone who couldn't escape playing a certain type of role, one that involved dressing in women's clothing. When asked why Perry might include such roles in his contracts, Katt responded, "That's why he's a believable actor." He took a shot at Perry and others like him, saying, "They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role." Katt continued his critique by pointing out that Perry, despite his success, hadn't really helped other actors achieve fame. "We put too much pressure on Tyler Perry," Katt said, adding, "He ain't put nobody on." He criticized Perry for not using his influence to lift others in the industry, particularly those who might be part of marginalized groups like the LGBTQ+ community. If you're a gay person and you are in there, put some other gay people on, Katt urged. He concluded by saying that if Perry and others in similar positions weren't willing to open doors for others, they shouldn't be surprised when they're labeled as gatekeepers. Following Shannon's long interview with Katt Williams, the podcaster later admitted that it came with a significant amount of backlash. When asked by The Hollywood Reporter if he noticed the reactions, Shannon responded, "Have you not seen the media?" He elaborated on the situation, saying, "Now all of a sudden, since Katt did the interview, I'm gay. Since Katt did the interview, I'm Wendy Williams. I'm a gossip columnist. Katt did warn me. He said, be prepared, because it's going to come." Shannon Sharpe, a former NFL star who played 14 seasons predominantly with the Denver Broncos, is now a regular on ESPN's First Take alongside Stephen A. Smith. Reflecting on the backlash, Shannon remarked that while he expected opposition from fans during his sports career, he had no idea Hollywood would be so harsh. "I would be lying if I told you I expected this," he confessed, highlighting how different the media landscape is from the sports world he once dominated. One of the most challenging aspects of the backlash for Shannon has been the questioning of his preferences. When you question a straight man's preferences continually, social media is so influential, he noted. Shannon compared the situation to the political sphere, pointing out how repeated falsehoods can start to seem like truth. "We had a guy make it to the White House in 2016, repeatedly saying things over and over, and people started to believe it. If you say things enough, people will believe them as true, even though they're not." Shannon made it clear that he finds it unacceptable to have his orientation questioned in such a public and persistent manner. "It's not okay to say somebody is gay," he asserted. "You can't convince me that it's okay, it's not." Since the interview with Katt Williams, other comedians like Mike Epps and Eddie Griffin have made jokes questioning Shannon's orientation. Both comedians have since apologized, but the damage was already done. Shannon revealed that such jokes often disguise deeper feelings like envy and jealousy. "I don't have anything against gay people," he clarified. "To each his own. And whatever you choose to do, that's your life." Despite the heat, it's important to recognize that not everyone shares this negative view. Many of Sharpe's supporters believe that he hasn't done anything wrong. They argue that his primary role was to provide a platform for Katt Williams to speak candidly about industry issues, an opportunity for an often muted voice to be heard. To them, Sharpe's actions are seen as a courageous attempt to shine a light on important, albeit controversial topics that others might prefer to avoid. One fan even said, "Accusing Shannon Sharpe of exposing anything is just wrong. All he did was give him an opportunity to tell their own story, and the public made a decision." Shannon's podcast has continued to thrive since the Katt Williams interview. He has landed high-profile guests, including Oscar winner Monique and Insecure star Amanda Seales, both of whom also went viral following their appearance. Shannon shared that his dream interviews would be with Oprah Winfrey, LeBron James, Dave Chappelle, and Eddie Murphy, demonstrating his ambitions for the podcast. So, as Shannon Sharpe continues to juggle the roles of sports commentator, podcast host, and public figure, we're left to ponder. Is he truly navigating these challenges with genuine intent, or is he merely playing a part to stay relevant in an ever-changing media landscape? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain. The drama surrounding Sharpe is far from over. And while we wait for more updates, make sure to like, subscribe, and watch our other videos for more content like this.